Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 19th episode of Hands Up. And today we are going to discuss the book The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. And the twist in this episode is both me and my guest have not read this book very recently, but it has left a very deep mark on both of us. And today, my guest is Shubham Rai, who is one of the hosts in the book club where I attend. Welcome, Shubham.
Hi Nitesh, thanks for having me.
So, Shubham is an architect by profession, but he's also very, very passionate about books, and he seems to have taken a lot of interest in exploring different authors.
That's true.
But I would let you introduce yourself. Uh, Give a
Okay,
short intro for our listeners.
sure. Hi everyone, whoever is listening. I am Shubham Rai. I'm an architect by profession, and when it comes to the reading part of our podcast, and if I have to explain what kind of a reader I am, I will say that I initially started with fantasy reads. I sort of got involved with a Song of Ice and Fire series and the Fourth Wing series, that is the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. That was my starting point, how I sort of got into the world of reading. Then I picked a lot of thrillers, and then you can say that my taste has developed over the years, and now I feel like I have tried at least more than 10 or 12 different kind of genres. So yeah, that's about me.
So, Shubham, like we were just discussing now,
Mhm.
uh, why don't you tell us, why you picked this book? And I think it's not something you have read very recently, but but I think you have read it more recently than me.
Right.
Um, I mean, Kafka is known for being a depressive writer. So
Hmm.
there's actually a meme going around in the internet where there's an exponentially falling curve which shows where Kafka stands.
Right.
So if your mood is somewhere at one, like after reading Kafka, you'll go to some negative region or very
True.
close to zero or something like that.
Right.
Um, so you also describe it as a philosophically loaded book.
Right. That's true.
Uh, so tell us about like what made you pick. Is it just because it's a famous book, or what is it like?
Well, when I picked that book, I didn't really had much in my mind. Uh, I knew that it is quite famous amongst the readers. That was a point of that was another point, and apart from that, the title really sort of intrigued me, the Metamorphosis. And why is it intriguing for me? Because I was expecting a kind of like a transition to a caterpillar to a butterfly, like something good will turn out in towards the end, and we'll sort of have this like a very interesting plot. But that that
You
didn't
clearly didn't know who is Kafka.
that's true. That's true. I knew he was popular, but I didn't know why. And why, when I read it, then only I came to know. And yeah, you can say that I have sort of developed a really like a deep interest in his, and I have also read about him and his friend who sort of like published his books. So yeah, so I won't lie that a part of me sort of expected a different kind of transformation, but it turned out to be very different from what I had imagined. And yeah, after finishing it was definitely a fascinating and a memorable read. So yeah.
I mean, there was this very interesting quote going around of Kafka,
Mm.
but actually it seems to be some sort of a longish paragraph. But
Okay.
the quote which has stayed with me is this is written by Kafka.
Mhm.
A book must be the axe for the frozen sea within us. This is my belief. That is what he has written. But the whole paragraph is also, I think, worth reading,
That's true.
especially in the context of the kind of things Kafka writes.
Hmm.
And also, I think this really reveals what kind of a person he is.
Right.
So he says, I think we ought to read only the kind of books that wound or stab us. If the book we're reading doesn't wake us up with a blow to the head,
Hmm.
what are we reading for? So
True.
that it will make us happy, as you write? Good Lord, we would be happy precisely if we had no books.
Hmm.
And the kind of books that make us happy are the kind we could write ourselves if we had to. But we need books that affect us like a disaster, that grieve us deeply,
Hmm.
like the death of someone we loved more than ourselves,
True.
like being banished into forest far from everyone, like a suicide. A book must be the axe for the frozen sea within us. This is my belief.
Nice, nice. I mean, I do agree with all that, because if a book is not after finishing a book, if you don't think about it, then it has not left any impression on your brain. So only those interesting plot points, the interesting character developments, and the, for example, even when it comes to the Kafka, he writes stories that has characters that are so human in their core, that even if you sort of hate them for whatever they're doing, you know that this is true. And we have always, from our like day to day life, we have met people like them. So that is an interesting thing that you have said, that if a book is interesting in its core, and if it leaves an impact, then it is only you can say that you have truly read a book.
Actually, I'd actually disagree with this,
Okay.
idea, because see, there is a certain masochistic, attitude in Kafka. Like
Hmm.
he wants pain to be inflicted on him. And that is probably because of his relationship with his parents, family, etc., etc.,
Hmm.
which is an entirely different topic.
Right.
I mean, there can also be fun books.
Hmm.
Like
True.
you can extend this to movies also. Like there, you should only watch the movie which will make you cry or something like that.
Right.
But there can be fun movies also. There can be humorous books which will make you laugh.
Hmm.
It can be also a fun story where there is no big philosophical thing, and you
Right.
just read it for the beauty of its prose,
Yeah.
or even comedy or
Like how
happiness.
I say palate cleanser.
Yeah, so but also it is true that most of the well-known works are
Hmm.
having some sort of tragedy attached with them. So maybe he is also kind of right.
I mean, when you consider Kafka, he never meant that his work is, for the public. He never wanted it to release it, right? And when he passed away, his friend sort of published it. So, I mean, you can say that he never wanted it to be, never wanted to share all those, deep thoughts with the public. He just had those thoughts and he just wrote it down in a way that he finds it relating to. But when it got published, and we know that even like in our current generation, emotions runs high in our blood, right? We tend to feel a lot of things at the very same time. And books like these that talks about things in a very unique manner, like it talks about emotions and how you are, like for example in this book, how when Gregor is transformed into a cockroach, he basically is like of no use, so he was no use of for his family. So I think those point of views is what makes it relevant in today's day and time, because the generation is able to relate to those situations, not the characters I would say, but the situations or the kind of things that has happened to that character in the storyline.
Yeah, I mean that is a good segue to our next, or probably this is not something which was on the agenda, but
Hmm.
why don't you just give a short summary of this story, which like maybe in 4 5 sentences.
Okay.
I mean, there is no spoiler as such in this book. Like there
Hmm.
is no such intriguing plot point which will surprise any reader as such.
Hmm.
It is more about the uh, expansion of the subject or the expansion of the character which actually kind of stuns the reader.
True.
So, give us a very, very short summary of this story.
Okay, so Metamorphosis, I will describe is like a very well written book, and as I mentioned in my review as well, that I've said that you might despise the action that the characters are taking and the emotions, but yet you understand that they are innately true to themselves and who they are as a person. So that makes it a very brilliantly written book. And the situation that Gregor is put, basically he gets once he wakes up, he is transformed into a cockroach, and the first thing that came up to his mind after transforming into a little cockroach was, I have to go to work. So that's how the story begins, and we sort of goes on this journey of how you are only appreciated when you provide something. You are only I will say, you are only acknowledged and appreciated because you are valuable to someone else, when you are that you are providing that worth to them. And once you stop it for even like some insane thing, like you're getting transformed into a cockroach, that people started slowly despising you. So yeah, that was the way the story progresses. And yeah, it is a very interesting read, and I will suggest everyone to read it, because again it is very short as well, and you can say it is one of the classics.
Yeah, I mean, just to add a few points to that, I mean, there are various translations of this particular book, which was originally written in German, I guess. Uh, some of the books also call it a giant insect, and some
Okay.
translators also call it as a cockroach. So, just adding that one point here. But also, I think there are a few more points about this.
Hmm.
Initially, his sister tries to care for him a bit
Right.
in the story, but once Samsa gets a bit injured, I think he goes through some sort of injury.
Right. Right.
Um, and his father attacks him at one point by throwing apples at him or something of
Mm.
that sort.
Right.
And then that is when even his sister, she starts seeing him as a disgusting entity in the family, and his family becomes ashamed of him. And finally she says, his sister, Gregor's Sansa's sister, who is basically great, or I don't know how to pronounce it, Grete. She declares that the creature is no longer her brother
Hmm.
and he should be removed. Like, she initially kind of cares for him, but eventually she finds it very disgusting. And finally, Gregor Samsa dies alone in his room.
Right.
He quietly dies. And, rather than his family feeling sad about his death, they go outside and they start thinking about the daughter's marriage.
Hmm.
And they're basically relieved that this guy is now dead.
Right.
So it's a very, the depression keeps increasing with each subsequent
That's true.
chapter or each subsequent development in the story.
Right, right. And
So,
I feel like it is a very interesting take on the scenarios when it comes to an, for example, when your close one or someone from your families goes through a very difficult or a very uh, like some sort of disease, and you know the chances of survivor is very less. And initially what all you can do is take care of themselves, right? You take care of themselves, you make sure that his he or she survives, and you help them in whatever capacity you can. But gradually you can see the person is passing, right? You can see that their days are numbered, and eventually a point comes in your life that you feel the best would be that, you know if the person actually passes away. because even in that bedridden state, in that vegetative state, when the person is not able to do anything, he has become like a dead weight.
See,
And
I think that is a very totally different topic about,
mm,
euthanasia or whatever vegetative state. This is not that. I think this has more to do with him turning into a disgusting, insect or a
right.
cockroach, whatever you said. I mean, that's why I actually wanted to talk to you about this point.
Hmm.
Like, instead of Gregor Samsa turning into a bug, do you think the story would change if he had turned into a cute puppy?
I mean, I do consider that if he had been transformed into something else, the story or the response to the story might have been a little different. Because again, people say that beauty is very subjective, but we all know that our emotional response to certain things is relating to that aesthetics appeal of things. So yes, I do. I won't deny that aesthetics does not sort of intervenes into our moral judgments of things, but
No, I'm not talking about moral judgment or whatever it is.
mhm,
Let's just see it as a story. So, right now, it's a disgusting bug or a disgusting insect, right?
right.
When you see it, you're going to feel like yuck kind of a feeling.
Hmm.
But I mean, you can't take care of it, or like you don't know what to do with it, because
Right.
whenever you see a cockroach, the first thing that comes to your mind is to kill it, right?
Hmm. True.
But
Hmm.
let's say Gregor Samsa became a puppy.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, the family is going to be shocked.
Right.
Hey, how the fuck did he turn into a puppy?
Hmm.
But when you see a puppy, you don't feel like killing it. See, he can still be part of the family. All of them can find different jobs. They can put some food to the puppy, play ball with this one, and it can be integrated into the family. But you can't integrate a cockroach with a family.
Yeah, that is what I was referring to when I was talking about the moral judgment or the emotional response to certain things. I feel when it is something very like acute and appealing to you, then only you sort of have that emotional response to it. And if it sort of disgusts you, then you won't give a shit about it, and you'll make sure that it sort of goes away at the very time. So yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's also a very, you know, appropriate parallel to talk about, pretty privilege.
Okay.
Like, pretty people in the world
Hmm.
kind of have a free ticket,
True.
and people want to come and help them,
Right.
uh, and they want to, see the best in them.
Right.
Like, even if they're doing disgusting things, they'll you try to
Right.
find what's good about this guy.
Right. Right.
But obviously, if that person is ugly, and even if he is not having bad intentions, you will start seeing him as a criminal or like a
True.
creepy guy
True.
or
True. True.
creepy
True.
woman.
Yeah. Sure.
Right. I mean, I think that is one of the core themes of this book.
Right.
Like, how you see a individual or an entity purely based on what it represents in your aesthetic
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm. I agree to that. I totally agree to
I
that.
mean, forget about cockroach and puppy. Even in the rodent family itself,
Mhm.
squirrel is cute, but a rat is
No.
disgusting.
Right. Right. Agree.
Have you ever seen a squirrel and felt like killing it?
Nope.
No.
No.
Like, I feel that visceral need to kill a rat.
But I mean, again, not relating to the book, but what we have observed, I mean, I've seen these sort of like observation, I've read articles about it, that for example, even like the fear in itself is sort of has implemented, or sort of like we have been told about these fears. For example, what I was referring to is that I've read an article about how there was a room was so there was like a child in a room and he was surrounded by snakes, and because he didn't have that fear, he was not responding to in a way, and he was actually playing with those snakes, though those snakes were not harmful because they were like the whole poison and all were removed. But I'm talking about how, as a child, we are sort of like, uh, we have been trained in a way that we have to react into a certain manner when it comes to like things like that. So I feel that also sort of plays with the way we, you know, take things into consideration when it comes to rodents or cockroaches and all. I feel that because
Yeah, maybe if people hadn't scared us about rats, then some people would also have rats as
yeah,
their
or if we had not observed them doing shitty things.
friends. Whatever. Uh, See, I think the other theme here is also, the way in which Gregor Samsa is disowned, and his
Hmm.
father starts, abusing him, and even his sister finds him, disgusting, whatever it is. Um, Before this transformation happened, the entire family was dependent on him
True.
and his sales job, right?
Right.
Um, I mean, now you can say that now that he's useless, he's being treated as shit or whatever it is.
Hmm.
We don't know how he was being treated even before he
Before.
transformed.
True.
Maybe he was already being badly treated, and the extent of bad treatment got worse.
You can say that because we never have that, toward how he was
Yeah,
before
exactly.
transformation. Yeah, I mean, you can say that we never know, but the story is sort of implying that you are treated in a respectful and like a, you are accepted and only given respect when you provide something. I feel that is sort of what I related it to when I was reading it. And once that, as a, even like as a male, when you are not providing something, you became worthless for your family, and that is the very truth.
I mean, I was about to get into that.
Huh.
Uh, it's a very valid point that as a guy, he would be absolutely useless if he was not earning and giving it to his family. And I'm pretty sure even his father would have gone through that particular phase. And that is why his father is also very demanding from Gregor Samsa to, get up, to do whatever he has done in the past.
Hmm.
And one way to see it would be like to feel sympathy for the male character within the specific context of this book
Right.
or also outside in the world. And I'm pretty sure we are not, men's rights is not going to be a great topic because tomorrow is Women's Day. But I've been thinking about this question.
Hmm.
Um, there could be like a massive criticism of this idea.
Okay.
Uh, if you think about you as a man
Hmm.
and you feel, you start thinking about what is the value that the other gender is adding to a particular family or a relationship or whatever it is.
Hmm.
In the past, it was purely about reproducing, having a family, and having your generation being
Right.
passed on to the, or whatever,
Hmm.
your family genes being passed on to the next generation.
Hmm.
uh, and as a result of that, the female gender was also associated with domestic work,
True.
cooking, and all those nurturing aspects of it.
True. True.
And now in the modern world, like, a large majority of women don't want to have kids.
Right. Right.
And in that context,
Mm-hmm.
if you see, I don't see what's the value of really, being a part of a family in itself.
Uh,
Because if you, here he is being seen as a provider,
right.
and once he stops providing, he becomes irrelevant.
Hmm.
Now if you ask a question, what is the female gender providing in the absence of reproduction?
Hmm. I mean,
uh,
that is a very interesting question.
we don't have to answer that
Uh,
question, but I think it's a big question mark as to, first of all, this unconditional love or whatever it
hmm.
is a very big fantasy. Like,
Right.
it
True.
probably never existed.
True.
Wherever love existed, it actually served some purpose, which is probably maintenance of a family, growth of
Right.
the
Right.
family, whatever it was. Um, and probably there was also not enough agency for one gender to choose
Hmm.
what kind of
Agreed.
partnership they wanted. But if you see, I mean, any relationship of the in the world, like
Hmm.
it definitely serves a functional aspect.
Right, right. So, answering to your first question, so when we were talking about the female what they provide, I will say that so this book sort of deals or have this thing about the perspective towards male, and we also have like books when written about the female characters and how they used to feel, and if they are not the provider, what kind of life they are living, and whether they have the rights to do anything or not, whether they even have the free will to do it. So I mean, yeah, there are books, and I'm not saying that it is not like a serious topic or whatever, but considering this book, I think it was more focused on towards the male perspective of things. And when it comes to the, what was your second question, I forgot. um,
I mean, in the absence of any reproduction,
right, right. About the love, the
it being a very functional
huh,
aspect
the
across
everlasting
ages. Yeah.
love for life. And now, yeah, so even I feel that it is not something that will stay with you, or you will feel the similar or the certain kind of way throughout your years if you are spending your time with your mate. But I feel it is more about the coordination and knowing that the person, you might have like a little bit less of a love, or the feeling has somehow gotten down, but still you chose to be with that person and spend the life with. I feel that that coordination and that mutual respect for each other is the thing that I will say is something that we should keep in our mind, and not just that the love should exist for how many years. And I think at the end of the day, that mutual respect and that coordination that you have with your mate is eventually turn out to be, I feel, that love that everybody talks
I
about.
like the way you're using the word mate. It's not even partnership you're talking about, it's just mating as such. But anyway, I mean, this question actually specifically
Hmm.
came into my mind
Hmm.
because I was having this talking stage with a girl,
Okay.
and I mean, within the 3 or 4 days, she asked me, "What is the role of a man in a marriage or something like that?" I mean, I was like completely, I'd never anticipated that kind of a question at all. What is the role of a man in a marriage or whatever it is? Like, I didn't know how to answer it. Like, I reversed it. I said, "What is your
Yeah,
contribution?"
I mean, a marriage is a union, right? So it's between two people. So it is as matlab, a role of a man is as equal and as okay as of the women. So we have to consider that logic as well. And when it comes to what we are providing, I mean, at the end of the day, what you, even like the female counterparts, what are they doing, right? If you are considering that like through that
See, all they
logic.
want to do is go to cafes,
Arre,
go travel the world,
okay, we're being that we're being that specific.
crunching
Okay.
back to life, go on a long drive. Like, how is any of this useful to you? Like, unless
Hmm.
you're also enjoying this.
I mean, I get it, and I think why this sort of thing is now happening is because I think they're doing what they really wanna do, and they have that, that space that they can you know
I mean,
do it
that is
without.
point noted.
Hmm.
That space should exist for everyone. I'm not even denying that. But anyway, we are going very, very far
Very
from
off
the
topic.
core
Very off
topic.
topic.
But it was mostly about like you know what exactly does this story try to talk about the role of the sun. Would you
Hmm.
just see it in the context of this story, or do you think there's also a larger theme which can go beyond the scope of this story as far as you know the continuous disrespect and the final end of Gregor Samsa is concerned?
I mean, yeah, we have the larger picture in our mind while reading it as well, because it is very like a specific part of a very broader topic. I would say that, and we can say that, yeah, to an extent, it kind of in a way talks about men's health, I would say, or
No,
the
you're talking
way,
about men's mental health.
yeah, the way it is also perceived, I will say. And again, like as mentioned, how a man is only celebrated or given respect when he has something to offer, and if he does not, then he becomes. So yeah, that kind of logic is there. And again, as I mentioned, it is a very small part in the broader horizon of things.
So, coming back to the story, I just wanted to explore this other theme.
Hmm.
So there is this very difficult relationship between Gregor Samsa and his, father, right?
Hmm. Right.
His father is the only guy in the family who actually attacks him.
Right.
The sister actually tries to help him initially, and I don't remember what the mother was doing.
She was
Uh,
just
he
sad.
was very sad and
Huh.
very passive, right?
Right.
So I mean, if you look into the life of Kafka, even he had a very difficult relationship with his father,
Hmm.
and whatever this, daddy issues he had, it actually shows up in all of his other books as well.
Okay.
Like there's a constant, he sees any sign of authority as a threat to his particular characters.
Okay.
Like in this case, his father himself, the father himself is an
Hmm.
attacker of Gregor Samsa,
Hmm.
and this anti-establishment or an anti-authority figure, kind of a theme. Uh, do you think that is one of the reasons why Kafka has become such a famous author in this context? Because even Kafka was not instantly famous.
Right. Right.
Like he's more of a recent phenomenon.
Right, right. I mean, to an extent, it could be that reason as well, because again, it is a topic that need like these sort of. I mean, you can put it in a category of toxic masculinity, but I won't. It is more
How?
about. It is more. I won't. I won't. And it is more about the relationship that you have with your father, or someone with your like a father figure in your life. And yeah, to an extent I feel like it is again a topic that could be relevant with our current generation, because as I've said, that we tend to have a lot of feelings, we feel a lot of things at the very time, and we look out for reasons where we can feel relatable and we feel heard. And I think through books like these and topics books like these that have talked about topics such as these might be the reason why it is so popular in today's day and age.
No, I would just like to also
Hmm.
compare this family structure to Indian families as well.
Yeah.
Because when you were younger, probably at least the millennials,
Hmm.
like they were not appreciated. I mean, it was talking back to your parents was not appreciated.
Right, right,
Like when you question them about something they're doing, they'll say, "How dare you?"
right.
And then they will give the example of their previous
Yeah.
generation. Like if at all we spoke to our father like this,
We are
we would have got a thrashing.
right, right, right.
Like, I mean, as the generation passes, there is also that desire for freedom and
True.
accountability from the previous generation, right?
Yeah.
um, I think as we move closer to that kind of a system where your child can question the parent and have
Yeah,
that
right.
conversation on an equal footing, uh, I think Kafka's works will become more and more relevant because all of them
True.
are
Agreed.
challenging authority,
Right.
and it's actually exposing the weaknesses or the uh, you know um
The negative parts of.
the negative aspects of authority and also their hypocrisy
Right.
in
True.
many ways.
True. True.
Like
Agreed.
the story of Metamorphosis also shows the hypocrisy of the family as an
Agreed.
institution,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
Like the family was supposed to protect each and every member,
Hmm.
irrespective of what happens. Like the bond of love is supposed to protect each and every member of the family, irrespective of what happens to them in future. But this story shows the hypocrisy where a member is a disposable
Hmm.
entity
Hmm.
because he is no longer useful to the family
Right,
unit.
right. Agreed. I agreed with all these points.
So, do you see in future Kafka being read more than he was in the past, or do you think there could be like a
I think it is more of a generational shift that has that has become a point why Kafka has been read more. I feel in upcoming generation might the problems that they might be dealing or the situation they have had in their life might have been a little different or might be a little different, and probably they'll read a certain kind of books, not necessarily Kafka, but specifically why Gen Zs and the millennials or our current generation is reading, because they are finding relatable. And I'm not sure whether the case will remain the same in the future, because again the generational shift will be there. So I'm not sure, but I hope that he will be read more, because I feel like he had a tragic life and he was not there to celebrate the kind of love he has now been receiving. So it is, I will say, to an extent, yeah, it will be a good thing, at least for him, somehow to be read more, his stories to be read more.
hmm? I mean, obviously, we know this is a very straightforward story with two, three themes which stand out,
Hmm.
and one of those is also about isolation.
True.
Like this country has 1.4 crore, I don't know, billion people, right? Or
Hmm.
140 crore, whatever you want to call it. But still, we talk about things like urban loneliness or whatever
Right,
the fuck it is.
right.
I mean, it is definitely a serious topic. I'm not trying to, you know. So, I mean, Kafka's Gregor Samsa is also an isolated figure. Like he's a
Hmm.
cockroach in a human family
Right,
or insect in a human family.
right.
Uh, do you see parallels to that in big cities like Delhi and all of that?
I mean, I have observed this. Yes, I will say that yes, these kind of like even not like in major metropolitan cities, but there are people from small cities, or the tier 2 or tier 3 cities that sort of feel the same way. I think it is because of the way we have been brought up. It is more about the family that we are being brought up. And for example, if someone has like a lot of brothers, there might be a chance that one of them feel a little lonelier at times, because he is not able to relate himself, or he's not able to communicate the way others do. I have even like in personal life I have felt the same, because again most of my family member consist of women, so I never had someone like a male figure to talk to. I
Hmm.
had lost my grandfather in 2014, and then I lost my father. So there was never someone who I would say like a male member I could talk to. So it was never like that. I could not even think that there could be someone to communicate to. And all that I would say I had was like my friends. And again, like in our day to day
But a
life,
friend can't be a father
right,
figure.
that's true. So and even those friends, they don't remain this throughout your life. So even I didn't have like a person that I can reach out to if I have, if I'm feeling in a certain way. So yeah, so this kind of isolation or this kind of feelings is valid, and we all do face that. Yeah.
But do you think Kafka has any answers about how to deal with it, or
I don't think that he had like answer, because if he had, then he won't have. you know, he was so depressed that he didn't even want his work to be read. So I mean, imagine what kind of life he was living. He didn't want anybody, and he never had someone. I feel that even his
but I
friend.
think he's more of a poster boy for the existence of the problem,
You can
and the
say that.
solution is
Solution you have like I don't think we have any solution.
I mean, you can find solution in your own life and
That's
context.
like I have
It will
not
be
read it
probably
like.
be a different solution for different individuals
That's
based on
again
where
a
they
thing. Yeah.
stand.
Yes.
Um, Okay, I mean, obviously, there's no point in debating about how depressing it is. But let's say you were given a chance
Hmm.
to, change the ending of this story.
Hmm.
The ending of the story is basically Kafka, Gregor Samka,
Sansa.
shit, Gregor Samsa
Hmm.
dying alone in his room, right?
Right, right.
And his family feeling relieved.
Hmm.
Uh, like if you had the power to change the ending of this
Hmm. Hmm.
story,
Hmm.
like how would you? What kind of ending would have been more appropriate?
Yeah, so like I had mentioned that I when I read the title Metamorphosis, for some reasons I think it is that Bollywood lover in me that was expecting a a very happy ending by the end of it, and I knew that it is kind of a depressing thing, but I felt like it will be more of a like a caterpillar to a butterfly sort of transition, that throughout the chapters something will happen and then he will eventually grow out of things, he will figure out things, and people will start appreciating him, or he will be recognized and accepted and given that respect. But that didn't happen in the storyline. So if I could be the one to rewrite it, or if I could somehow change the ending, I would say that I will provide the solution that we were talking about. I'll
Hmm.
try to come up with a solution, then and then end it on a like a happier note.
But obviously, that is not possible with Kafka. Like
That's true.
he would never give you a happy ending.
That's true.
Um. So once you read this book,
Hmm.
um, did you feel like comparing it to other authors whom you have read, or I mean, after reading this, are you even likely to pick one more Kafka book?
I have actually read another Kafka. It was a short story called The Great Wall of China, and it was about
No,
how.
I'm talking about the major works
No,
like
no, no. I have
similar.
not read anything else from Kafka, but yes, I do want to. But again, I don't wanna jump into like. I just don't wanna pick something just for the sake of it. I want to read things when I want to read things. So it's more about that feelings come from within, and I've not read something else. But if I have to compare, I right now I don't have someone in my mind. I think I've not read that much of the books. I don't have. I
He's
think
a one of a kind. I would
I
say.
mean I have no one else to compare it with. How
No,
because I
there are
think.
other
Mhm.
themes, other authors like Camus and Sartre who
Ha,
also
ha, ha.
explore existentialism.
Right, right, right.
But obviously, we don't know. I mean, at least I am not aware of what kind of philosophy Kafka believes in.
Okay.
But Camus is probably one of the authors.
I've read The Stranger, I think.
Yeah, even in Stranger, you
Hmm.
would have gone through the themes, right? The
Right,
story, the
right,
way in which it starts and ends.
right.
I mean, did you see any parallels between the two authors?
I won't say that I've sort of like draw parallels between the authors, but I will say the topics they were covering was very uh, you can say like a part of the same thing but a different topics. Like in one book we are talking about how it is important to be to be accepted and to be given respect, and not only because you are providing something but because also you are a core member of a family or an institution. And in the others it is more about how you are perceived by the way you react to certain situations, right? For example, in The Strangers, sorry to go into that book, but
No.
yeah, when his mother passes away, I feel it was sort of imposed on him that he has to react into a certain manner, and which is not the case with like every human being is different. Everybody has their own way of reacting and responding to scenarios, and as I think as humans we have to be a little more accepting and understand that everybody has different way of doing things or way of coping, or even like being contented with things is another thing that I feel should be more talked about. So yeah, those two. So again, like I was saying that I feel the topics was kind of offer like a same thing, but the topics were different.
Yeah, I mean, it's about coping with abnormal situations,
You can say that.
and obviously the society not allowing you to be abnormal,
Hmm.
and it kind of pushes you to the average,
Right, right.
the mean, right? I don't know, mean, median, whatever. um did this book make you like Kafka as an author or hate him?
So I felt like I was very intrigued. I will say, like, I was very interested. I wanted to know about him, and then I read about his life because I didn't know the his personal life. So I will say, I won't say that I'm like a love kind of a way, because there are authors that I really appreciate because of their way of writing. But Kafka being someone from the past who is not now present, and the things he had discussed with the books he had written, and knowing that he never wanted it to get into the medium to be like to get consumed, and how his friend sort of published this. So that part of Kafka I'm very intrigued by, and yeah, so in that sense I'm very interested.
So your adjective for him is you're intrigued by.
Intrigued, yeah, you can say intrigued.
Obviously, he. It's difficult to hate him because
Ha,
you'll feel sorry for his
ha,
personal
ha, ha,
life.
that's true.
But if someone says,
And even
I.
I won't say that I love, because again I've not read the books in like in its core or in its true form. I don't know German. I'm reading like like a
Obviously, that
right.
is.
So I don't know whether I appreciate his way writings, the way he writes. I know the storyline, the themes, but I don't know whether I'll enjoy it in the same manner that I do with the author that writes in English language that I can relate.
No, obviously, it
Hmm.
comes down to the skill of the translator.
Right, right, right.
You can definitely probably find better translations as well,
Hmm.
but the core story remains the same.
Yeah.
I think what hits in case of Kafka is the core story itself,
Hmm. True.
and the progression of the events.
Right.
Not, I don't know. The language also plays a important role.
Hmm.
The way in which it is presented to you.
True.
Uh, but anyway, if someone said that they love Kafka,
Hmm.
then I would really be concerned about that person because, I mean,
He's a
I don't know.
melodramatic person. Huh?
Sorry?
Yeah, he'll be a melodramatic person, right? Who sort of thinks a lot,
I don't
want
know
to talk
about
about deeper
melodrama.
things.
I mean, melodrama is not a bad thing.
Hmm.
But this is, I don't know. Probably I should have read some theory about Kafka's literature
Okay.
before this.
Hmm.
Then we could actually use some term which is
The best fitted for.
more technical to
Ah,
describe his work.
right, right.
But it's definitely intriguing,
Hmm.
and it's probably that axe which he was talking about. Uh, what was that axe? I forgot that quote. But anyway,
Hmm.
axe to the frozen sea in your
Ah.
whatever. I just, oh, what was it? Let me just read it once. A book must be the axe for the frozen sea within us.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's definitely an axe for the frozen sea in you.
Agreed.
Whether the sea is frozen or not, first you will freeze it and then hit it with an axe. So, is there anything which you want to add overall about your reading experience of the Metamorphosis?
Let me think what I have not spoken about yet. I've talked about the perspective. Yeah. So, one thing that I think I've not spoken about is the fact that the first thing that comes to his mind after getting transformed in a cockroach was about the work. I think you know that sort of thing is very was specific to me, was very like hit hard for me, because at that time I just joined a new firm and I was not enjoying my time there. But eventually you want to have you want to get your monthly salary, and you want to have work, and you want to. So even if you don't want to, the first thing when you wake up comes to your mind is like, yeah, I have to go to home. Oh, sorry, I have to go to the office to work. So that part of it, that at the end it all comes to that value you are adding, that value you are providing, even if you are not liking the process, even if you are suffering, even if you are going through something, the first thing that is there in your head is like, I have to achieve something, because only then you will get the
Salary.
salary, or salary for the family, to salary for the family, so that they'll give you the respect.
I mean, that depends. I mean, if the family is dependent on you or not.
Ha.
That was definitely the case in this story with Gregor Samsa.
Mm.
But there could also be families where they are not depending on your salary.
Right.
I mean, you're working for yourself. I mean, that can also be the
But
case.
again, even if you have to survive, how long can you survive without a job or thing, right?
I mean, yeah, if you have generational wealth, you can.
बट वो भी खत्म हो जाएगा एक टाइम के बाद.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about Kafka. Like, I mean, I'm not so academically, equipped to make that kind of a
Mm.
comment.
Mm.
But I think I've read two, three works of his, The Trial
Mm.
and Metamorphosis.
Mhm.
I think I read one more, but I've forgotten it. But I mean, it's just endless grief. Whatever was going on in his life, he has brought it out in his fictional works as well. And I don't know what to do with his literature.
I
But
mean, we all have had this conversation when we talk about
yeah, what
authors.
do we do with him? Like,
Huh.
what do we do with his stories?
Again, like, it's addressing a problem, but we need a solution.
Yeah, I think it definitely serves a masochist, desire to
Hmm.
hurt ourselves and to shock ourselves and feel something. At least that purpose is being served.
Right, right, agree. That is done.
So I think with that, on that note,
Mhm.
like if you want to hurt yourself, you can read Kafka.
For sure. If you
But
wanna feel something.
if you want to feel something and there's nothing being felt in your life right now, you can read Kafka. On that note, I think we can close this chat, and thank you for having this conversation. Like,
Appreciate it, and thank you for having me. Bye. Take care, guys.